Okay, we now read and analyze safe sounds. This is a very simple poem, very short poem, written by a woman, Carol Ann Duffy, and you can find this poem in New and Collected Poems for Children, published or edited in 2009. This may be an introduction, okay, to a poem. I explain to my public or to the teacher or to my classmates that I give the title, I give the name of the author, and I tell them where they can find this short poem. And this may be used also by you when you introduce, when you talk about a poem. You should give or describe or read to the public the title, give the name of the author, and possibly give them the exact position where they can find the poem. Safe sounds. You like safe sounds, the dogs lapping at their bowls, the pop of a cork on a bottle of plonk, as your mother cooks, the match of the day theme tune, and Doctor Who. Safe sounds, your name called, 2 happy syllables, from the bottom to the top of the house, your daft ring tone, the low gargle of hot water in bubbles, half asleep in the drifting boat of your bed, you like to hear the big trees sound like the sea instead. Ok, Davide, hai avuto qualche problema per entrare?
Sì, prof, non mi prendevano, manco mi sono arrivati i messaggi. Ho visto che mi erano arrivati i messaggi.
Ok, allora c'è una piccola parte prima che aspetta che ok, I read the poem Safe Sounds, and first of all we recollect all the information. You give, when you analyze a poem, you give the title, you give the name of the author. If possible, you give also where I can find this poem. It is collected in, you can find it separately from any other poems. Okay. In this poem, you see that there is, we can say, a help for the analysis of this poem. So we use this help, and you can use it at home just to revise and understand better the figures of speech we talked about. For example, you see, alliteration. If you remember, the alliteration is the repetition of the same consonant sound at the same of consecutive words. You see that there's an alliteration, safe sounds, okay? Which is the idea conveyed by alliteration, by S? Silence, okay? S is normally the word, the consonant used to suggest the idea of silence. So, okay, it gives rest to the reader. This sound introduces the idea of calm, of tranquility. Then you have onomatopoeia. You have a lot of words, the onomatopoeic word, 2 words, no more. Lapping, okay? Lapping means il cane che lecca, no? che lecca la ciotola, ok? It is the same sound you have when the dog laps, is given by the word lap. And gargle, ok? Gorgogliare, gurgle, gargarismo, ok? And the same sound is suggested by the word gargle, okay? Then we have assonance. You remember the assonance? Oh, the onomatopoeia. You wanted to?
Yes.
Yes.
Is the repetition of the same vowel.
Sorry?
Assonance is
Okay.
the repetition of the same vowel.
Vowel, okay. Vocale.
Sì.
Okay, of the same vocal. Okay? Okay. The assonance is vowel or vocal or vowel. Sorry, you're right. Vocal, also vowel, you can say. The pop of a cork on a bottle of plonk. Okay. You see that oh, the repetition gives the idea of rhythm, ok? Quindi l'assonanza in questo caso, la prima, the S alliteration gave us the idea of silence. In this line, we have the idea of rhythm, okay? A kind of tapping the rhythm. Oh. Then we have the repetition of the same words, safe sounds, okay? It is also fundamental in this poem because it is also the title of the poem. So safe sounds, and also the position of safe sound is at the beginning of the two stanzas, okay? Then you have metaphor. In the drifting boat of your bed. It is a metaphor because there is no words like as, like, ok? Quindi non ci sono introduzioni come, simile a, but drifting boat, ok? La nave alla deriva, ovviamente, the bed is compared to a drifting boat. Why to a drifting boat? Because it is night, so it is going to sleep, and the drifting boat is the boat that has arrived on the shore. È la nave che è arrivata sulla spiaggia, quindi non naviga più, non continua più il suo percorso. Then we have a simile, okay? You like to hear the big trees sound like the sea instead. Quindi, vedete, the drifting boat sentirebbe il mare se fosse alla deriva. Invece il tuo letto, which is not on the sea or near the sea, by the sea, from your bed you can hear the trees sound, which is very similar to the sound made by the sea, okay? And then we have the language of senses. We have a lot of recollection of sounds, of for example, words recollecting the idea of sounds. For example, the title, sounds, and also repeated in the first line, sounds. Lapping is something I can hear. And also the tune, ok? Il tune appunto è la musichetta, la canzoncina. Your name cold, ok? Quindi il suono del nome. And again the tone, invece in questo caso è il suono della suoneria, della sveglia, ma è sempre un rumore. And hear, che è sempre un qualcosa che io ascolto, in questo caso il suono anche qui per esempio hanno dimenticato, potevano mettere anche the trees sound, quindi hear and sound. Quindi vedete che ci sono varie ok, they call me while I'm having lesson. E poi qui c'è una caesura, ok? La caesura è rappresentata da questa punto e virgola, ok? Vedete? Che spezza, quindi your draft rig tone, e io faccio una pausa, the low gargle. E anche qui, per esempio, hot water in bubbles, half asleep, anche qui ci sarebbe una caesura, ok? Anzi, scusate, qui è no, qui è una caesura e qui invece è un run on line e anche qui sarebbe un run on line. In realtà sono anche in questo punto the gurgle of hot water, anche qui run on line, quindi anche qui al run on line, non le hanno segnalate tutte. E anche qui per esempio of your bed you like to hear the big tree sound, anche qui un altro run on line. Vedete in questa poesia per esempio in this poem we have a lot of run on lines and they convey the idea of I have something more to say about that. Okay, so unfinished speech you have. Quindi questa qui è diciamo, l'analisi come può essere fatta di una poesia. Adesso ve la riassumo brevemente, ok? L'ho anche registrata con tutti gli interventi, quindi ve la potrete anche risentire se vi serve. Allora, faccio finta di essere io all'interrogazione e vi descrivo questa poesia. Ok, this poem, the title of this poem is Safe Sounds, and it was written by Carol Ann Duffy, and it can be found in New and Collected Poems for Children, published in 2009. This poem is a very short one because, as you can see, it is made of 2 stanzas. We have 6 lines in the first stanza and more lines in the second stanza, because in the second stanza we have 8 lines. So 6 lines and 8 lines. In this poem, we have 3 verses. In fact, first of all, the lines are don't have the same length. Non hanno la stessa lunghezza. And secondly, we don't have rhymes. Okay? In this poem, we can find alliteration, we can find a lot of figures of speech. For example, in the first stanza we find an alliteration of the letter of the consonant S, which suggests an idea of silence, of rest. And there is also the repetition of the title. Okay, we have the repetition of, for example, the title, Safe Sounds, also with the SS, okay? Safe Sounds, the 2 words are repeated in the title, in the first line of the first stanza, and in the first line of the second stanza, okay? So it is a kind of repetition of the title. Then we have some onomatopoeias. Okay, for example, in the second line we have the sound made by the dog who is lapping his bowl. Okay, or the word gargle, suggesting the idea of making bowels with water. Okay, with hot water in bubbles. Then we have assonance also, O, 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 okay, suggesting a kind of rhythm, magic rhythm, okay. So the rhythm also gives the idea of calm, of repetition, calm repetition, so the idea of sleeping. And we also have metaphors. A metaphor in the drifting boat of your bed. So the bed where the boy is probably going to sleep is compared to a drifting boat. So a boat that has arrived on the shore, a boat that stopped sailing on the sea. So the bed is compared to a boat, quindi il letto viene paragonato a una nave, che è una barca che finisce, quindi si arena per riposare. Then we have also a simile, because you like to hear the big trees sound like the sea. Okay, so the bed, from the bed, the boy can hear the trees as well as the boat near by the sea can hear the sea while resting on the shore. Resting on the shore means mentre si riposa sulla spiaggia, quindi la nave viene diciamo paragonata, il drifting, quindi la deriva, che è una cosa poi negativa, viene paragonata invece ad un momento di riposo. And then we have, finally, the recurrence of the idea of sounds. So what we see in the title, Safe Sounds, is the recurrent idea, recollection of senses. So the dominant senses in this poem is hearing, okay? Then finally we have caesura, okay, in particularly evident in line 10, where we find a pause, okay, and we also find run on line, okay, in many verses where we see that the sentence is not finished, but it goes to the new line, okay? The idea continues in the new line. What is the idea? What is the impression conveyed? Once you have explained the structure of the poem, okay? From a visual point of view, as figures of speech, from the alliteration, onomatopoeia, and everything you can find, and also the rhymes if they are present, you have to give an interpretation. So you have to describe what is the message, because you remember that all the works of art, in particular poetry, have a message, bring a message to the reader, and you have to discover the message. I don't want to give you the message of this poem, also because there isn't a single message. In general, we see that we can imagine that it is dedicated. Who is you? Who may be the you? We can imagine that it may be a child. Okay, why do we imagine? Because it say safe sounds. Okay, because it says your mother as your mother cooks. Okay, so we can also have a grown-up man, a 35-year man with his mother cooking, but probably it is a very young child, a boy or a girl. 2 happy syllables, the top house, ring tone, you see your mother, the match of the day, theme tune, and the doctor who, okay? Quindi probably the boy or the girl liked to watch TV, okay, while mom was cooking. And then in the bed which is compared to a boat, okay, and the big trees sound, okay, so probably the child listening to the sound of the trees while falling asleep. Of course, we can say that is a boy because we read new collected poems for children, okay, so we imagine that it is dedicated to or inspired by a boy. But if we don't have any indication about, for example, the collection, we can decide or we can find details in the poem to decide the person to whom it is dedicated. So this is the dedication. We can say that it is a very relaxed poem because we don't have any dramatic ideas. We don't have any desperate moments described. But the message is yours. What can you find in this poem? What I want you to do is to describe me the message you find in this poem. So you have, for the next time, what you have to do is to, of course, to finish studying metaphors, irony, humor, satire, so be able to give a definition of all alliteration, repetition, onomatopoeia, and everything. And then you have to be able to analyze this poem, okay? And give me your personal interpretation. The idea this poem conveys to me is, okay, I have the impression, the message it gives me is, okay, so it shouldn't be very difficult. Okay, we just miss 1 minute because in 1 minute's time we have the break. So you're having your break, even if you're at home, you're having your break with a mask. Wear your mask while you're eating your snack. And the other exercise I want you to do is page 10. Write the words above next to their definition. Okay, so you read a part of a play in which the action remains. No, sorry, I made a mistake. No, it was not yours. Okay, so that's all. What you have to do is all. Okay, I will write on the internet and I upload this video on Google Classroom because I think it is too heavy for the register. Okay, you will find all the indication on the register. Okay.